So today we're going to be taking a look at Bastila Shan based upon her appearance from Knights of the Old Republic for the Vintage Collection. And to me, this is one of my favorite action figures from the TBC line and favorite action figures in general, actually. I've always been a Bastila fan and I love Knights of the Old Republic. It's one of my favorite video games of all time, between both the first and second game. Can't get enough of those, and I've been playing those for almost 20 years at this point. So how Bastila got released in TBC is she actually won a fan vote at the time, around 2010, I think, to be released. And I knew when I found out that she was going to be in the Vintage Collection, I thought that was the greatest thing at the time. And I knew that I had to have one for my collection. I'm pretty sure this cost me about maybe $20 at the time. I never saw this at retail, and I don't think most people ever saw this at retail. You can watch some tour videos from Toys R Us back in the day, and I have seen some where you do see Bastila in the background. But from my personal experience and from so many others, we never really saw this figure in the wild. It may have been packed one per case, and of course, Bastila being a EU character from a fan favorite video game is going to be snatched up pretty quick. I unfortunately do not have the package to show you because at the time I didn't keep the packages, and that's probably the one package out of all the figures in my collection that I wish I still had. It was a very nice card art. Of course, you can look it up anywhere. They made it a realistic interpretation of Bastila, and I thought it looked really good. It doesn't look exactly like how the action figure does here, but it still looks really nice, and the action figure here looks really nice as well. So we'll take a closer look at it. Nothing too fancy about it. It is a very unique action figure. There's just not a whole lot. So as far as I know, Bastila is an all-new action figure. There's no pre-existing tooling or anything like that about it. I'm not sure if this has been reused again for any others. It may have been. This particular Bastila has seen a re-release. It was in the orange and black series line back around 2013. And there are some differences between that one and this one. I used to own that one, but I sold it a while ago. The only real differences is the brown here you see on her robes. On that one, it's a much lighter brown. And another thing is in the head sculpt. On the Black Series one, the eyes are much closer together than what you see here. I don't think the eyes look bad on this. I know some people have said that they look far apart. It doesn't look that bad, I don't think. But it is much closer on the Black Series one. I can't really say it looks better or worse compared to this one. But if you are on a hunt for a Bastila, I think the Black Series one is a little bit cheaper. The paint is a little bit blotchy on that one, on the samples I have seen. If you're very particular about having crisp paint on your action figures, the TBC one is definitely the one to get. But if price is a factor for you and you're looking for a Bastila that's just good enough, then the Black Series one might be the one for you. She has a lot of nice detailing in her robes, and very unique for a Jedi. She does have some subtle details in her robes there. Very nice hair sculpt. And in case you didn't know, Bastila is one of the main characters and companions that travels with you during the first game. She does show up in the second game as well on a couple moments. So in terms of the articulation, she does have ball joint the neck there. She does have hinged shoulders technically, but she's heavily restricted by her shoulder armor. That's about as far as it will get, unfortunately. She does have hinged elbows though. Not quite 90 degrees, but pretty close. You know, maybe about 90 degrees there, but at some angles she won't be able to. Swivel wrists, then swivel waist, then swivel hips, and hinged knees, and hinged ankles as well. terms of accessories, she's very light. She's one of the few Star Wars action figures I can think of that has a yellow lightsaber. And that's in the video game. Bastila is a Jedi Sentinel, and Jedi Sentinels are signified by a yellow lightsaber. So something unique to add to a Jedi collection. As far as I know, I think maybe this, and there's also the Jedi Temple Guards from the Star Wars Rebels line that has a yellow lightsaber blade, and I think one of the Power of the Jedi action figures as well may have had a yellow lightsaber. One of the expanded universe characters, it actually may have been Obi-Wan or Plo Koon, one of those two. But I think those are pretty much the only Star Wars action figures to date that have a yellow lightsaber. And of course she has an unignited hilt as well. Not a lot of detailing in her hilt. It fits pretty good on her belt. And I really like how they sculpted her hand like she's using the Force. Other than that, I think that's pretty much all there is to say about Bastila. I'll do a couple comparisons for you here real quick. Here she is with the custom Revan that I have from the game, and Mitra Sirik as well, custom. I have both those reviewed on the channel, and they all look really good together. So would I recommend Bastila for your collection? I definitely would, especially if you're a fan of the expanded universe, a fan of the Knights of the Old Republic series. Like I said, it's one of my personal favorite video games. And of course, if you are looking to collect a lot of Jedi for your collection, Bastila is a unique addition, very unique robes, different lightsaber blade. Something unique to add to the table instead of the traditional Jedi robes and, you know, what you see in the prequel films most of the time. Unfortunately, Bastila is kind of expensive, especially for the TVC action figure. I've seen this go way up in the hundreds before, brand new that is. If you get one loose, you might be able to get it for less than 100 at this point. I do hope Hasbro gets around to re-releasing her soon, and with this KOTOR remake in the works, if that will ever happen or not, but I'm sure it's crossed Hasbro's mind at some point between the time it was announced and the time of it going in limbo. I think the photoreal will look really nice on her. Maybe a couple extra updates here and there, who knows. But like I said, the Black Series one, I'm pretty sure is much cheaper to the TVC one. And if you're looking for a Bastila that's just good enough, that might be the route to go. I think I've seen the Black Series one go for maybe the $40, $50 range. And like I said, the TVC one goes way over 100, especially if you get one brand new. There's definitely a distinguishable difference between the two. Like I said, the color schemes and the head sculpt is slightly different, so anyone that's pretty familiar with the line would be able to spot the differences of the two. But anyways, that concludes this review. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more reviews in the future. There will be plenty more to come. And if you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Greatly appreciate the support. And also check out the Instagram link in the description as well. I have a lot more posts coming on that very soon. And thanks for watching.